All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Coach Mike, welcome back.
Yes, great to be here. And we have a special guest
All
to keep
right,
our
welcome to the
bodies
show.
fit
Thanks
longer.
for tuning in. Coach Mike, welcome back. Sounds like I
Yes,
have
great to
feedback.
be here.
Somebody's
Special
on
guest.
Facebook, if you can turn that
Oh, he
off.
must have it on Facebook as well.
I don't think it's on my end, but tonight we
No.
have David Wells. So we're excited to have David. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
Dave, appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
And you're coming from where, David?
I am in Riverwoods, Illinois, about 25 miles north of Chicago.
Oh, very nice. Well, let's jump right into it. This is Coach Mike's favorite question, so let's kick it off that way. So, David, how did pickleball find you?
Wow. So I played for the first time in 2013. I took a trip to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, to
Selkirk country.
Yeah, to a Discovery Land property, which Discovery owns one of the MLP teams. Okay. And I played for like a couple of hours and
wait, slow down. So how'd you get your paddle in your hand? Who gave you the paddle? How you got it? Don't leave that stuff out.
Got it. So I just used whatever the like what they had there. We had no idea what we were doing, and came back and bought a a net with the chalk, and it's still in the box in my garage. Never did it again.
Okay.
I went to another Discovery Land property in March in Cabo called El Dorado, and I played 4 days of pickleball. The number one pickleball player in Mexico happened to be playing. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
But I came back and I was talking to one of my friends, and I'm like, I can't stop thinking about pickleball. And he said that, well, there's a bunch of us that play. I'm like, are you kidding me? So there were about 12 guys that played. This was March of this year.
Right.
And we would go down to where they had the Chicago Open at Centennial Park, a couple miles down in Highland Park, Illinois.
Okay.
And we would play almost every day. And then at the end of April, there were 40 people waiting on a Sunday at 9 o'clock to play. And I decided that this I can't deal with this. So I decided to build my own court, which was finished June 15th. So I'm all in pickleball. I mean, I have 14 paddles. I got a new paddle today. Zane showed me a new paddle. So of course I bought it. I'm all in. I'm almost 7 days a week and very, very addicted.
So fantastic. David, you got.
Yeah, I totally got hooked. And
right.
Just to put in perspective, I was an avid golfer that, there's a golf course. I'm lucky enough to have one in my backyard that I would play all the time when it was nice here. I hurt myself in July, my back. I couldn't really play golf, but I didn't care because I was able to play pickleball. And I have really no desire to go back to golf. So
a little bit of athletic background, though. Obviously, you don't walk on a pickleball court and compete right away if you didn't have other athletic skills in your history.
I was a high school and college lacrosse player.
There you go.
I'm a Michigan State Spartan, if you couldn't tell. And I was an avid softball, 25 years of competitive softball. I had no racket skills.
Wow.
But there's so much in common with striking the ball, being on time, being set up, watching contact on the bat. There's a lot of things. The baseball players, when I'm coaching someone and they said they play baseball, they know exactly what I mean when I say square off.
Yeah. Yes. So. And eye-hand coordination. I try to tell people, if you're an athlete trying to start to play pickleball, you need to remove the athleticism and you have to just focus on getting, because we all try to kill it and hit winning shots. And pickleball, when the opportunity arises, you could do that. But a lot of us, including myself, try to hit too many winning shots when it's not needed.
Or some might say you pull the trigger too quick.
Correct.
Yeah.
So David, let's dig into this a little bit. We've touched on it. So how did the YOBOW come about, and is it fair to call it a massager, or is it not really that?
Yeah, no.
Therapeutic pistol.
Yeah, it's a massage pistol, we like to call it, because this is an iPhone, and this is, how big it is. So instead of a gun, we figured a smaller version of a gun is a pistol. I was in the audio video business for 20 years, and I exited in December of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a little bored. I'm still employed by the company that bought my company, but I got a little bored, and I started to mess around a little bit with designing a massage gun. I'm a Theragun. I love my Theragun. It's a much bigger device. Obviously,
Right,
it's much
right.
heavier. It's way more expensive.
Sure.
But I had no background. I didn't know what I was doing, so I ended up finding a manufacturer that I was able to work with, and they gave me some molds, and I kind of came up with a design, and we then decided to make them in 8 colors, and each color represents a charity and a cause. So we donate a portion of every YOBOW sale, whether it's wholesale, retail, on Amazon. A portion goes, depending on the color, goes to those charities. So I'm still learning in this whole process what to do, but it's been somewhat of a blessing and a hit, actually. A lot of people love. I compare it to the little flashlights. Everyone has a big flashlight at home that they keep in their nightstand that you never really use. And then we have little flashlights everywhere, in our desk drawer, in the kitchen drawer, in the car.
Sure.
Similar concept.
So the main difference, David, would be the size. And from my understanding, it's a pretty powerful little unit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just to put it in perspective, there's 4 speeds. The top speed is 3,500 RPMs, which most smaller massage pistols only go to 2,800. So it's almost 20% more.
Right.
And what we found is very few people use their massage guns on the high speed, as far as like your Theragun and your Hypervolts, the big ones. And we found older people, women, and children love the YOBOW just because it doesn't hurt. It's small. It's easy to get to spots. And you can take it with you and travel with you wherever you go.
Fantastic. So obviously you've, been in pickleball now for a few years. So was it
really 6 months, really about 8 months.
Okay. But did you have this in other markets prior to bringing it to pickleball?
So I started in golf, and we've done, many on golf outings, like as a gift that people order. If you have 150 golfers, they give out YOBOWs. So that was going great, and you keep it in your golf bag. But my passion turned to pickleball, and it makes it much easier when you're playing pickleball and talking to pickleball, and you're meeting pickleball people, and everything's pickleball. It just kind of blended in with pickleball. And what I found was most courts and most people play for hours, 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, that my hips and knees tend to get pretty sore while you're playing. And this works great while you're playing, in between games. The different attachments. It's been a great success in pickleball.
That's great. Fantastic.
I have 2 people that are on right now that are teachers. And so they're asking about the units. And I said, just buy one, text me, and I'll connect. Just go to, we'll talk about it after. Yeah.
With the promo code Coach Mike, it's free shipping.
Right. Perfect.
So David, you talked about the charities. Tell us, if you will, what the charities are that you're supporting.
So there's 15 charities, and they align with the colors. So for black, which is skin cancer, which is the cause, we've partnered with Immerman's Angels, which pairs people that have had skin cancer and survived with people that are going through it, and they have a mentor that walks you through, what you're going to go through and helps you, not just skin cancer, really with all cancers.
Very
and
nice.
Tunnel to Towers, which a lot of people have heard of. They help fallen soldiers, fallen firefighters, policemen. They build them homes, smart homes that allow them to function much easier. Silver is the Elijah Alvey Foundation, which is food allergies. 3-year-old boy died in New York City from getting a grilled cheese sandwich at his nursery school, and he was allergic to cheese, I believe it was, and they started a foundation, and we support that. EB Research, which is, silver is also, it's food allergies and rare diseases. I have a friend here locally that's daughter was born with a very rare disease, and her skin doesn't adhere to the muscle. So she's wrapped and it's very painful. So silver helps support that. Green is mental health. So the National Association of Mental Illness, and cerebral palsy, which another local charity here, Fighting for Families, which is a friend of mine.
So we got green in our house. My brother has CP, but my girl Stephanie loved green, so that's the other reason why we got it.
Well, thanks, Stephanie. And then poverty is blue, and stomach cancer is blue. So we support Riley's Way, which helps send kids to camp, and it's like kindness, etc. They don't call it anti-bullying anymore; they call it kindness. Red is ALS. I lost my uncle to ALS and my aunt, and addiction. So we support Live for Allie. Purple is Crohn's disease. So Athletes for Crohn's, Larry Nance's charity we're part of. And the Jared Cooper Diabetes is purple. And then white is Invisible Hands, which helps support COVID-19 and people, elderly people that can't leave their homes. They help deliver food and medicine to them. And then pink is the only one with one, which is Fabuish and breast cancer. One of longtime friend is Juliana Rancic, and it's her charity, and she's been very helpful and supportive of YOBOW. So, pink is obviously for breast cancer.
I love that. So let's stay there just for a minute, David. How did you, where did that idea come about to support these charities?
It's a great question. I have a good friend that had stomach cancer, and we were talking one day, and I was like, we can make these in different colors to help, that match the ribbons, and that's just kind of how it came up. And then we contacted these charities, and every single one of them was on board. So these were the first 15 that we asked.
That's great.
And we wanted to try to help smaller charities and not like the American Red Cross, et cetera. Not that those are bad,
no,
but we wanted, as a small massage pistol, we wanted to kind of do local, smaller charities that could really use the help.
Have an impact for sure. I like that.
All about giving back.
Absolutely.
And pickleball.
So I see you make a branded version. Have some people taken advantage of that? I'm sure they did in the golf world, as you mentioned.
Yeah. So we can brand right on the top here with a logo. And, we've done, hundreds of, MGM casino. We've done a few cryptocurrency companies. We actually have, for the bowl games, the Arizona Bowl just ordered a bunch. FanDuel. So there's been a few companies that have ordered a bunch, and we've done a ton of them on corporate gift giving sites that employees get money to use to buy gifts in a catalog. It's been very, very successful that way.
Right. Super.
So David, how have you done your marketing? It sounds like you've gotten a groundswell of excitement around your product, and certainly have some big names that are ordering it.
So I've had a bunch of pros come here, and I give them all a YOBOW for free. More for them helping me and playing with me than for them to help promote the YOBOW. I just am very appreciative when a lot of them have come here and allow me to play, because I am not at the level that they are. And they've all reached back out and said how great it is that they because what I've realized is it's not easy to be a professional pickleball player. And these guys and girls travel all over the country with just their pickleball bag. And it's hard to bring a bigger massage gun in those bags. So it's a lot easier to bring something this size. It comes in a case.
Nice, small case.
Attachments.
Yep. There you go.
And it's TSA approved, so you could carry it on the plane with you. And, we do a lot of, online social media stuff. The charities have all helped. But, we're less than a year old. So 2022 is really when we plan on, hopefully we sponsor some events in the pickleball community and others in other areas.
Yeah, that was my next question. Will we see you at some tournaments next year?
You will.
Excellent. Yeah. Good.
I'm going to just throw something out there. So Dave had mentioned you're going to tournaments, and it's very often that you're sitting for a while and you're getting tight. Old folk like me, we get tighter quicker. And so you need to get into those muscles, get in there deep, and you don't want to look around and see who has something. So this is nice, easy fit in your hand. This particular one gets in the muscle real nice, real deep. And most of us have piriformis issues where we're getting tight, and your calf muscle, which causes a lot of problem in your feet. This particular attachment works really, really great for a lot of these folks. And then what I love about it is comes off real easy. And then you want to get into your back and go back down your spine, Jeff. This is so perfect. And listen, I'm a huge fan, and the people that came to me are also open pro players, and they mentioned it to me. And we've all had big, huge massager guns, and they move your body all around, but this just really gets in deep, and it's specific. And I'm just a huge fan of it. Thus, we got Dave on the show to tell anyone.
By the way, that last attachment that you have there is great for the Achilles. If you go right in between your Achilles with that.
Yeah.
I personally like this flat one, because for me, it's more on my elbow and my tricep.
So where a lot of people get hurt from doing that twisty, spinny serve that you're going to probably get excited about, that flippy, twisty thing that you're going to learn from Zane, who comes over to your place.
Well, John Sikola's got an amazing flick serve where he flicks it with one hand.
Right.
And it's funny to see Zane learning how to do it with one hand. So I'm sure, Zane's a tough work. He works hard, and I give him a few months before his serve's back the legal way now.
So David, for somebody who's never used one of these before, they pretty easy to use. I know that's a simple question, but
it could not be easier. And I'm not just, it's what makes this great is the size. You can get to spots all over yourself. When you're holding the larger ones, they weigh 5 pounds.
Right.
So there's only so long you could hold your arm like this. This is almost the size of your hand. So it's just like you're rubbing your hand on yourself. I implore people to try it. It is something that you should have in your pickleball bag. It is something you should have in your golf bag. If you travel a lot, it's just great to bring with you. It's just something that will make a difference as far as how you feel when you're playing pickleball or any sport, really. But, I'm all in pickleball. I just think that this is such a good device for the millions of people that play. Most of us, at least, are older. When I say older, 50 or older, to where, we get sore and we don't recover as easy as we did when we were in our 20s.
Right.
That's great. So do you see an expansion in your line in the future, or, is this pretty much your only product?
So right now it's our only product, but I'm working on a warm-up device, something that will warm up your hips, your quads, your hammies, all in one motion. And there are there is something that is like that out there now. We're just going to refine it to make it a little better.
Excellent. So those of you that are just joining us, we have David Wells, the president of YOBOW. And
what's a YOBOW, Dave? Show us what a YOBOW looks like.
This is a YOBOW.
Little massage pistol.
And it looks like it's about half a pound, maybe?
It weighs 1 pound.
Okay.
Because
pound.
it's, and Mike, you could attest, it's solid.
Not only that, listen, Jeff, if my girlfriend had this with her in the car, I would tell her to use it on somebody. You will hurt them. What's really great about it, it's very easy to use, right? One button. And so that's that easy. And now it's a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger, a little bit stronger. And listen, that's 3,500 RPMs. It's really strong for a small little pistol. And it works really well because I've been using it on, who did we talk about earlier? Stephanie, right? She loves it.
And the battery lasts. So if you fully charge it,
yes, you
can use it every day for a month. So it will shut off after 10 minutes because in case you leave it on, it doesn't want to, lose the battery.
That's a big plus. It's auto shut off. And there's a small little USB. See the USB in there, Jeff?
Yeah, it's a USB-C, which is much faster charging.
Right. Mini
but
USB.
It will last 3 to 4 weeks on a single full charge.
That's incredible. That's wonderful.
That's amazing.
So I have some of your friends that are saying, listen, I use YOBOW, and here's one of your friends that they love it, another athlete, high-level player like you, and he wanted to talk about it. Look, he's rubbing his neck right now.
I didn't know you were going to have Kenny Longshots on. Kenny and I played this morning together.
That's wonderful. Listen, we have a few people that are wanting to promote the product because they use it, they love it. Like I said, Mirch is one of the top senior pros in my category. Friends that are senior players, 50 and older, we think about how long are we going to last? Not so much preventative, just being able to stay in the game. And these are the kind of machines like this that keep us loose and make us last longer and don't run out of juice. Kenny, what do you think about the unit? Oh, introduce yourself.
Before Kenny says anything, Kenny has been great. Kenny, when the Chicago Open came in town, he bought Dina Weinbach and Susan Moore over to play. And I had no idea who their husbands were. I never heard of them. That's how ignorant I am to pickleball.
That can be good, though.
Yeah, so I think they liked that I didn't know who they were.
Right.
But I gave them all YOBOWs. Because we had a great time, and I gave them all shirts.
Okay.
And the following day, I went to the Chicago Open, and they were all wearing the shirts, and they were all promoting the YOBOW. And I was very touched.
I saw it,
Kenny.
Yeah, that was kind of funny because David, being new to the game, wasn't boned up on all the top level pros yet. And
some no idea. Never are, so it's okay, Dave.
I know, but I'm a pickleball addict, so I watch a ton of tournaments, and I know all these guys, and I schmooze with them when they come to the tournaments and rub shoulders with them, and he had no idea he was in the presence of the significant others of two really legends of the game. If you I don't know if there are two more legendary players in the game than Scott Moore and Dave Weinbach. Right?
Sure, there are just as equal. Lots of them.
Well, I'm just saying.
At the top of the food chain. I'll give you that.
I mean, you're talking Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, right?
Right.
Two of the more legendary. And anyway, I call this. He calls it the YOBOW. You know what I call it? I call it the friend maker because you give this to somebody, you got an instant friend for life.
That's true.
That's what I call this thing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, it's a great product. I got a funny story during the pandemic. Right before the pandemic, a friend of mine, whose daughter played club volleyball, decided that he wanted to buy 100 massage guns because at the time these massage guns versions of them were becoming very popular. Everyone was bringing them to the gym, and everyone would be like, "Hey, what is that? Can I try? Where can I get one?" Right. So he says, look, I got a source we can buy, I can buy 100 of these things, and I know I'll sell them out in one weekend at one of the tournaments. Okay. And I said, okay, that sounds like a great idea. I'll tell you what, I'll finance it. You sell it, and we'll split 50-50. Okay. So what happens? We place the order, 100 units come in, and the next week, the state shuts down, COVID hits, and club volleyball is canceled. So I'm sitting here with 100 massage guns in his garage. In his garage, they're not even my garage. It's in his garage, and I'm out $6,000 on these massage guns. And I said, now what? So I said, look, man, all I want to do is make my money back. So I started emailing people and saying, hey, I have these massage guns. They're knockoffs of better brands. And I'm selling them for basically my cost. And before you know it, within, a month, I sold all 50 of the ones that I had and recouped my investment, which is all I cared about.
So this is a good story.
No, and I'm just saying, and those massage guns that I sold were these not even close to comparable to this. They were twice the size of this. They were made of junky plastic, not like this.
Not solid like this thing,
Not solid at all. And if they lasted a month, you were lucky. Okay, but even though it was during the pandemic, people were just happy to have one, thought it was a good deal, and that was the end of it. But this thing is far superior to what I was selling during the pandemic. And that was the end of my venture into the massage gun.
So, Kenny,
I'm happy to leave it to David.
Has a couple of questions for our guest. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there.
Go ahead.
All right. So it sounds like you've had a lot of pros and maybe some you didn't know, David, at your courts. So, I mean, do they come in every week or how does that work? And how have you reached out to them to get them to play and to try your product?
Well, they all come because of the court. So like in Field of Dreams, and then, if you build it, they will come, and they all came. And, again, being new to pickleball, not having any idea that the court I built is as unique as a court that you'll find anywhere in the country, just because it's in the middle of the woods. So Kenny, who knows pretty much all the pros or most of them, the first pro to come was Kyle Yates. And somehow Kenny asked if he can teach a clinic at my court. I'm like, absolutely. So he came after teaching all day. We played, I have lights. So we played into the night. And it was great. Kyle was awesome. And then, I had the Johnsons, JW, Julie, Georgia, who, Georgia's going to be a name to be reckoned with, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Grant Bond.
Yep. Grant, who I love, was there. John Sperling, obviously Mersha, Jen Lissandro,
Chuck Feinstein.
Chuck, I got a great. You want to hear my pickleball story?
It's literally surrounded by a forest.
Yes.
Of trees.
I am surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
So, David, it's an outdoor court?
It is an outdoor court, yes.
Okay.
It's great.
But I have a great story about Chuck. I've known Chuck Feinstein for 25 years. I played competitive softball with Chuck, and then I moved to the suburbs. I stopped playing softball. We kind of lost touch. And I was practicing at a court, and Chuck happened to be giving lessons. And I was like, he came up, he's like, David, I'm like, Chuck, what are you doing? And he, Chuck's all in on pickleball. I don't know, his license plate is pickleball. So, Chuck came and was giving lessons on my court for many months. And, the trade-off was I want to play in the games with you guys and you can play here. Because, for me, the only way to get better is to play with better people. Smart. So my first milestone was beating Chuck Feinstein on my own court. And, Chuck, if you're listening, I really appreciate, when I go in the Pickleball Hall of Fame, you'll be one of the first people I thank.
I think he made a comment earlier, so I think he is here. He
Oh, he
said,
did? Oh, no way.
Actually,
YOBOW is awesome.
He said the YOBOW is awesome.
Yeah, I told him to come on the stream here.
You did? Oh, that's funny.
He's
Yeah,
a
of course.
big fan of the YOBOW.
Yeah, Chuck.
Big fan of the YOBOW.
Chuck has been a great ambassador of the YOBOW. You know, he's a hustler. You know, to anyone that he gives the lesson to, he always offers them to buy a YOBOW, and he's had great success doing it. And you know, very appreciative of Chuck for everything that he's done, not only for my pickleball game, but for YOBOW as well.
Okay, very nice.
That's great. So I know you've told us a number of stories. Tell us a good pickleball story, you know, in your short period of time playing.
Very short period of time. You probably have at least one you remember the most.
Can I just interject one real quick thing? David loves to say that he's only been playing pickleball for 5 months, 6 months. It changes the number of months. But the reality is, in those number of months, it's the equivalent of somebody having the normal person having said they played for 3 years. That's how much pickleball he's fit into that 8-month period of time. To his credit,
now,
to his credit,
I am probably, since March of this year, I've played over 215 times. That's counting more than once a day, not days, but you know. But again, it's
2 to 3 hours.
It's the only sport that I've ever been involved in where you can just continue to play for 2, 3, 4 hours, and although you get tired, you still got adrenaline going to play. I love drilling. It's a great game to practice. The only part about it that sucks, golf, you can practice alone. Pickleball is very hard to practice on your own.
True.
So
Completely, David, no golf whatsoever anymore.
No chance.
Come on.
You know,
Seldom?
Well, as far as stories go, you know, I think playing with, you know, Mersha, Sperling, and Julie was like a big highlight.
It would be for anybody.
We're all in the, you know, again, I didn't know who they were at the time, but, you know, I've become close with Mersha and Julie since, you know, whenever I met them in August.
Yeah.
And, you know, their level of play is so much higher than any of, you know, the average person, but they're the same age, which makes it even more remarkable. And then watching JW and Grant play, you know, and getting to play with them, and, you know, JW and me versus Grant and Georgia, who was awesome, but just to see how quick his hands are, and he doesn't move. His head doesn't move. It's very hard to emulate that.
Unless you're Ben Johns.
Right. Well, you know, again, I always, you know, my whole thing now is, look, we all know the sport is a little discombobulated, and it's growing, and, you know, everybody's trying to make it go this way or this way. But I think that these guys, the Zanes, the Ben Johns, the JWs, they're the Mickey Mantles, you know, they're the guys that are laying the groundwork for, in 5-10 years, when the sport hopefully explodes, you know, what tennis could be, or even like the UFC. You know, these are going to be the pioneer guys. The Dave Weinbachs, again, those guys played, you know, when there were only under 1 million people playing.
Exactly right. So you have to give a little credit to the senior pros.
Correct.
Like the Scott Moores that you mentioned, who really did lay the groundwork. But you're right. In the future, in 10 years from now, the Zanes, and there'll be 5 more new ones of them as well.
Yeah.
So I see that Chuck's saying, "Love you, Dave." It out.
Put some lights on, Chuck.
Jesus, Chuck, what are you living at?
No, go back into the dark. Go back into the dark.
No, now we can at least see who it is. Hey. So Jeff,
you gotta turn off
Chuck.
Jesus, Chuck, what are you doing?
Hey, one person at a time, okay?
Stop for a second.
Chuck, you need to turn your Facebook down, because we're getting some
Just the
feedback.
volume down. You're echoing.
Or just close it out, and I'll bring you back. Give you a microphone again.
Chuck, you need to turn your Facebook.
Oh,
There he goes.
no, that was me. So he's still getting it turned down, I guess.
Chuck doesn't know how to even make a post on Facebook. You think he's going to know how to
He's
turn
on
it
his
off?
cell. Give him credit. He's doing good.
All right,
So just turn your volume down.
We'll get him back in a second here. Hopefully he can shut off Facebook.
You're on mute, Chuck, so we can't hear you.
Yeah, that's not going to work. We're going to get feedback. So, Chuck, we'll give you one more chance. Just if you click Facebook off, just get out of Facebook or YouTube because we're getting an echo from. Yeah. Oh, he just disappeared completely.
He doesn't know how to just do the link.
Chuck was trying to do a YOBOW post.
Yes.
Oh.
And it took 4 months for him to. Finally, I said, you have it on your phone, that you could do it on your phone. He had no idea that you could post from your phone.
That was good. He got that far. That's good.
And he's still wearing a Grateful Dead shirt. Okay, he's living in the 70s.
Give him a gold star for the effort.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, I know you don't know Chuck, and Chuck's just a great, wonderful guy, very good athlete, good player, and a huge advocate for the sport. He is definitely an ambassador for the sport. There he is. Now, just stay still, Chuck. Don't move.
He's probably the biggest teacher here on the North Shore. Everybody has worked with Chuck.
Fantastic.
Chuck,
Welcome,
can you hear us? No, we lost him.
I'm here.
This is the first show that we're having any kind of technical difficulties. So,
well, it's
Chuck,
not your fault. It's your guest's fault.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Well, the good news is he can coach pickleball.
I'm here.
There he is.
There he is. Chucky.
I'm here.
Can you sit still?
Up?
What's up, Chuck?
What's up, David, Kenny, Jeff? How's
Introduce yourself. There you go. Sit still. There you go. We're glad to have you on the show.
I'm pretty illiterate when it comes to this technology.
It's okay. Listen, you made it. So it took you a tad bit longer, but you're here.
So Chuck is a 2-time U.S. Open champion, right?
Yes, yes.
Chuck is definitely the first pro that I played with, if you want to call him a pro. He's probably like a 5-0 now. But he has given all of us, Chuck is the one that really got me to be more competitive with my game. He had me enter a tournament that we won. We went in, and after a few months as 3-0s, I went in with a buddy of mine, and Chuck was there playing as a 5-0, and watching him play, especially, again, he's in his early 50s, late 50s, excuse me, almost 60, I believe, coming up, right?
Take it easy. It gets better with age, Dave.
Well, to see the level, I would tell Chuck's got to be in the top 5 60-year-old guys in this game.
Okay.
That's very kind of you to say. Yeah, I did a lesson with you guys.
By the way, Coach
You
Mike.
didn't hear, Chuck, before you came on, David was giving you very big accolades about how you've really been an advocate for the sport, an ambassador for the sport. Something about it on the east side of, what did you say, where the area is, Dave?
The north side of Chicago.
North side of Chicago. One of the biggest supporters for the sport, and he was very grateful for all the time you've developed his game with, and he was just giving you a shout out before you came on. I just wanted to remind you what he said, because Chuck came on and said, love the YOBOW, love you, Dave, and look, and now you're on the show, like a magic trick.
It's nice of you guys to have me on, and I heard what David said. It was very nice of him. Very nice comments.
Good.
And I've been ducking him lately because he's gotten, much better.
I was going to ask, is there anyone got a game tomorrow morning? I don't have anything going on. I need a game.
So you guys should know that Jeff is just like you guys. So Jeff moved from Naples, Maine to Naples, Florida, and had to decide, am I going to be a golfer or I'm going to try this crazy sport that everybody plays over there called pickleball? And Jeff, you tell them the rest of the story.
I gave my golf clubs away.
Wow.
Good call. Good
How long ago, Jeff? How long ago was that?
I started about 2.5 years ago.
And how's your game?
It's it's good. I'm playing competitively at 4-0, and my female partner wants to go up to 4-5. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Jeff has a
challenge
little bit of an
yourself.
advantage over us guys. 6 what?
6-4.
Wow.
6'4".
Wow.
It helps a little bit. What do you think, Chuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It
it helps. It greatly helps. Definitely. Those dinks, those third shot drops have got to be real close.
Well, when you can reach the
inside
net
the
with your
kitchen.
arm, it does help a lot.
Yeah, who's
Right.
Chuck? Who's the 6'9" badminton guy that plays around here?
6'9"?
That tall guy that played in that tournament when he was a badminton guy.
Oh, that's Peter. He's probably, Kenny can attest to it. He's probably 6'1", 6'2". What do you think, Kenny? He's pretty tall.
He's got definite long reach.
Real long arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Peter. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name.
Zurich.
Okay.
Zurich.
I just did a lesson with his mom last week. She was very appreciative, picked up on some things she wasn't doing, and hopefully it helped. I'm waiting to hear from her.
So I have 3 other pretty high-level athletes on the show, and we know that this is good to help you stay loose. But either one of you guys, I want Dave to go first. What type of recommendations would you give someone for preventative measures prior to going on? Because there's a lot of people that watch, they're new to the show, they jump on the court, they go, I'm so excited, these guys look so happy, I want to do that, and they run out there and they pull an Achilles. So what suggestions might you give someone that's listening?
So for me, again, I play a very aggressive game, and when I try to slam a ball, I use, everything I got. And when you're playing every day, I developed a terrible pain right between my shoulder and my chest.
Called an impingement.
And literally, for me to warm up, I use about 5 minutes, on each side.
Okay.
Because I do switch hands in some instances, but it just loosens up.
Wait, did you just say you switch hands?
I do in some instances. Because when I'm diving to my left, I get longer reach with my left than I would my backhand.
So wait a second. So you tell yourself that and you believe it?
It's only when it's out of my reach left. I go and I just
it's like a last resort.
In my back. If my backhand can't reach it, I go to the left.
So what you're telling me is you're late.
Could be. I mean, when you're playing against these guys like Chuck and stuff.
You're getting off topic on the question here, Coach.
All right,
stray a little bit.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Well, I would just say this real quickly. When I first started playing pickleball, I remember I would come home and I felt awful. Like my body felt achy, worn out. I would sit in a hot shower for 30 minutes.
Wow.
Until I felt, good again. And then the next day I was, it took a while for me to recover. I would say that anyone who starts playing and plays competitively and plays hard, you're going to go through 3 to 4 months of some pretty good soreness after playing. And it's going to take that kind of time to get those muscles to adapt to that type of use that you are putting it through in pickleball. So like a lot of people, I would go on the court with no warm up, cold, just start playing. And that's really not a smart thing to do. No, it's definitely not. So I would say get on a treadmill, get on a elliptical, warm up your body for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Stretch your low back, stretch your hamstrings, stretch your Achilles, stretch your quads, do wall angels to warm up your shoulders, and then start playing the game.
Yeah, and Dave mentioned major muscles that are always used: your glutes, your hammies, your quads, but your calves are so crucial because a lot of people are getting foot issues in the bottom of their foot. They don't realize that their calf is so tight that it has nowhere to go, and it goes to the bottom of your foot, and then you start hearing plantar fasciitis. So the calf
and Achilles tears. And I ruptured my Achilles 2 months into my playing career.
Too bad. All right, Chuck, suggestions?
You know what? I use it on muscles that, that don't hurt. Just keep them loose. It's such a great product. Find the time to use it. When I first got it from David, I thought, nah, you know what? I'll be fine. My body will warm up tomorrow. And I don't have time to use it, but I found the time and it makes a big difference.
Sure.
You know, I use it on my elbow. I use it on my calves, like you were talking about.
Sure.
My neck. My fiance, Stephanie, you know, she loves it. It helps her. She does CrossFit every other day. She's a runner, and it's been really beneficial for her as well. Some of the stuff that Kenny and David said as well.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Mike, you mentioned piriformis. That's a big problem for me. When I sit or after I play, I gotta use the YOBOW, and I have to go deep into the piriformis to get relief. And this thing is really the only way to get relief is to use this device.
Well, Coach Mike and Chuck, since you guys are instructors, when I want to ask you about with Kenny, do you think because his piriformis is so tight is why he hits every other ball long and out of bounds?
Is that a trick question?
No, because I mean, we played. You know, he's Kenny long shots. He tries to smash you with the ball, and it goes out of bounds all the time.
You know what, David? I think that was rhetorical. We both knew the answer already.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right.
I'll let him get the last shot. That's fine. It's he's the main guest. I'll leave it at that. I won't even say another word.
That's okay.
I'm just disappointed
perfect, guys.
to find
Listen,
out you
this
guys
was perfect.
play
It worked out great. You guys both use it. You both play a ton of pickleball, and it's important to have some kind of out. I mean, I would always suggest if you're going to be a good stretching person, absolutely do it after you're warm. You know, after you're playing, take those 5 minutes, Chuck, and say, do it now. You're nice and hot, and you're loose, and your muscles are fired up from all the blood. That's the best time to get in there nice and deep.
And
you have to find the time.
David, shameless plug, but where do you buy YOBOWs? Go on, you tell people how to get one of these.
So the best place to get it right now is at the YOBOW.com, just THEYOBOW.com. It is available on Amazon as well, but you get free shipping on the YOBOW.com. Just use the code Coach Mike.
Nice,
Coach Mike. So when you go in and you're logging on, and you get to the end where it says time to pay, they'll ask you if you have any kind of, not password, if you have a coupon or what is it, Dave?
It's a discount code.
A discount code. You just type in Coach Mike and you get free shipping. So it's every little bit helps.
Yep. And you're helping one of the 15 charities as well, depending on what color you get.
Right. And that was the most important part, that I liked the product and I liked who was backing the product and why he was doing it. And for me, I told him I have a brother that has cerebral palsy. And having said that, I'm green. But Chuck, my Stephanie likes the color green. How about your Stephanie? What does she like?
She doesn't care what color it is as long as
you get it for her.
I'll tell you one thing she doesn't like. I don't think she likes Chuck.
No, she doesn't. She loves Chuck.
I know she does. I'm only kidding, Chuck.
Well, guys, thanks so much for jumping on.
Perfect.
David, thank you for coming on. It's been very informative.
Kenny, thanks, guys.
Great to see Chuck and Kenny. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
You as well.
All right, you're welcome.
As well.
And again, before we sign off, just tell everybody again, you can get a YOBOW going to
the YOBOW.com.
YOBOW.com.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Michael.
Next time you have me on, we'll talk soon. Chuck, thanks for coming on, guys.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon. Talk to you all.